Now with another BAM. Now today we go take a breakdown to this DNA. I always explain to the people and tell them that people can actually, the human being DNA can actually altered. You understand? Cut, stitch, patch, all of that. They can do it. They can make another human being like a cloning system. You understand? They can't do that. They can't take tissue from one man and basically put it in a tank of salt water and grow a man just like him in 3 months. Match identical. You understand? It's bullshit. 100% in. Just like you see, they brainwash the masses with TV and movies, and they're showing you all these people that cloning in movie. It can't happen. Just like your Gemini man with your damn Will Smith. It's not real. Just a fantasy for the masses. And I told you, if it was real, there's no way they would have keep showing it in the movie. So they could tell you. No, they only show you dumb shit on so-called movies and TV show, dumbing down your subconscious mind. Now this right here is something that you need to look into with the so-called DNA. I told you, watch this.
Inside this advanced foundry, biologists, software engineers, and a fleet of automated robots are working side by side to crank up the speed of...
Crank up the speed of DNA. And now you see what they show you right there? Fucking dinosaur. A fake shit made up for dumb down the masses. You're never gonna get it. You think dinosaur is real? Pay attention to this right here.
They're taking synthetic DNA, remixing it, and programming microorganisms.
Taking synthetic DNA, people. Synthetic DNA. Wow, what they doing with synthetic DNA, people? What does that mean? I told you already, all GMOs, people. And I told you, once they mix up and make these so-called DNA, they can actually create a human being out of it. How? Yes, eggs and embryos. They basically change the DNA of it and basically can create a different person. Yes, people, no doubt about it. Like a Yao Ming, a Shaquille O'Neal, yes, a Zion Wilson, all of them. You understand? Zion Williams. That's how they get those so-called athletes. You better wake your ass up, but they can't create no damn clone.
They're taking synthetic DNA, remixing it, and programming microorganisms, turning these...
Programming microorganism. Wow, people, you believe that they can do that? Of course, all they do is manipulate. That's what they're doing, manipulate nature. And of course, they're fucking up all the way.
Living samples into mini factories that could one day pump out new foods, fuels, and medicines. Into mini factories that could one day pump out new foods, fuels, and medicines.
You hear that? Food and medicine, people. You better wake your ass up. What I don't tell you, all the food that you get is genetically modified. You understand? They made that shit by manipulating nature, and you're not gonna get it. You think none of that is good for you? Okay.
Every piece of DNA here is barcoded and cataloged in what's considered the world's largest genetically engineered strain bank.
You hear that? All modified genetically. You understand? All that fake DNA, synthetic shit right here on the masses. What they're doing with so much of this shit right here? All fucking made up? Wow.
This biological assembly line is at the heart of an emerging field that's raising billions of dollars
with the purple gloves on
and attracting a ton of attention. Synthetic biology.
Synthetic biology, people. There you go. Wow.
We are surrounded by biology. It's personal care products. It's the clothes we wear in form of cotton and hemp. It's the houses we live in. It's gasoline. It's medicine. And because biology...
Yes, and most of those people just chemical make them. You understand? You see, gasoline, they never dig it from the ground, people. Just wake your ass up. There's no magical potion in the ground they call crude oil or so-called fossil fluid where they can dig up and make gas out of it. You understand me? You understand what I'm trying to tell you? The gas that you put in the car is all chemical. That's all it is, people. 100% in.
And it's gasoline, it's medicine, and because...
all the medicine also is chemical. That's why you have side effect for every damn medication that you take. It might not be immediate, but it's coming. That's called chemical reaction.
Biology isn't everything. If we have the power to engineer biology, we have the power to affect every single aspect of our life.
You see?
Nature's had billions of years of trial and error to engineer biology and select its best designs. But we only...
From fucking bees with the honey to the strawberry. right there. And you don't understand why they show you this right here, people. They can speed up the growth of all of this nature right here, make it more faster, of course, by faking it.
Of years of trial and error to engineer biology and select its best designs. But we only just figured out how to read the source code 50 years ago.
You believe that, people? You believe they just know to read this so-called for 50 years ago? You better wake your ass up. They've been doing this shit forever. They're just now putting it to the light, kind of giving you an idea what they've been doing to the
Because
masses.
every living thing, you, me, this exotic bird, that oozing amoeba, are built from a unique set of instructions that come down to just 4 letters.
It's the DNA that decides what the microorganism
There you
does.
go, people. DNA, and with them tampering with DNA and creating DNA, you never understand, people. This is what they do. This is the work of the devil. As you could see the sun ray right there in the background. It's the work of the
It's the
devil.
DNA that decides what the organism looks like, how it acts, if it
See?
will grow.
You hear that, people? You don't get it. The DNA is the main point. Gonna decide how it acts, how it grows and everything. What I tell you about the LeBron James, the Shaquille O'Neal, the Yao Ming, also Zion Williams, and much more. Those athletes that they bring to the table. You better wake your ass up.
Or if it
That's
will
all
not
they do.
grow, it all comes down to DNA.
But thanks to a few technology curves, we can now read, write, cut, and paste DNA faster and cheaper than ever.
You hear that, people? Just go back and pay attention what they just tell you they're doing. Pay attention.
It all comes down to DNA.
But thanks to a few technology curves, we can now read, write, cut, and paste DNA.
Read and also write. Cut and paste DNA, people. That's what I'm trying to tell you. When I did that video back then, over 2 years now, and do the one with LeBron James, Usain Bolt, and also the so-called swimmer, the so-called Michael Phelps. And I told you what they did. They manipulate their DNA so they could be special athletes. You get it? One Flash, Superman, and also Aquaman. They give you right there in plain sight, and you never get it. Manipulation of the DNA. Yes, it sounds more real to you now? Come on.
Faster and cheaper than ever, creating a whole new set of
Faster and cheaper now, okay? But they've been doing it. I told you they create a lot of those so-called athletes. Just this right here, manipulation of their damn DNA, cut, stitch, and patch. They tell you.
instructions beyond what nature intended.
Wow.
Synthetic biology is
Than ever, creating a whole new set of instructions beyond what nature intended.
Yes, beyond what nature intended. It can go way far beyond that. You see that? That's what I tell you, people. It's no coincidence in this world. All by design. They do it, people. The fucking elite. They're the one who control every aspect of your life. Better wake up.
synthetic biology is defined not by tools, but by intent. The vast majority of biologists in the world are looking to understand something more about nature and discover some secrets of nature as an end in of itself, and that's a profoundly empowering pursuit. Or to vitamin, or detect something in the environment, or make a food product that you don't normally make.
Make a food product that you normally make. Wow, people, you see that? Wow, I told you most of the food that you're eating right now was created by these people right here, manipulating nature.
If you've ordered an Impossible Whopper at Burger King, you've taken a bite of an engineered food product.
Nah, people. Now, I wanted to do a video on it, but I do so much video on it. Even this fucking shit coming down the conveyor belt right here. I did a live on it already. I did a whole lot of videos to show the masses. It's a new way to kill off the so-called vegan that don't want no meat, but you still want to eat a patty. You still want to eat a so-called impassable beef. What is that about, people? If you don't want meat, why the fuck you gonna run down something that they make other so-called plant that look like meat? If you let go meat, just let go meat, people. Why you a vegetarian or a vegan but you still want meat? You're dumb as a box of rocks. Impossible Burger. You're dumb as a box of rock. This one is Impossible Whopper. Flame Grill. You better wake your ass up, people. This is lab meat. 100%. You want to bet me? This is lab meat. Tell you, to ask them where's the plant come from so we can go get the plant. We don't have to eat it shape out in a burger. Where is the damn plant you used to make this beef? Where is the plant? Get out of here.
Ordered an
people.
Impossible
Bullshit.
Whopper at Burger King, you've taken a bite of an engineered food product. That meat flavor comes from heme, an iron-containing That meat flavor comes from heme, an iron
Hen? How come we never hear about that shit before? The meat flavor come from hen. What the fuck is this? You better wake your ass up. How the fuck this shit just pop up on the market? Where it come from? Dumb on, people. Where's the fuck this shit come from? You used to see it before? You're just dumb. Soya bean is also a synthetic food. It's not a real plant. Wake your ass up.
containing molecule found in a special soybean protein that was isolated from fermented yeast.
Wow.
Tasty.
Fermenters eat. Yeast. Get out of here, people. Watch this again. Are you fucking kidding me? Dumb people on this earth. You don't want to eat meat. You're a vegetarian, but you want to eat something that look like meat? That's the fucking dumb people on this
Isolated from fermented yeast.
earth.
Tasty.
The goal and the intention is purely different. It's
Wow.
Tasty.
Wow, it's
The go-
tasty, people. Why not just eat that plant, people? Eat the plant. Why it gotta be looking like this for you to eat it and you are a vegetarian? Why the fuck you still crave meat?
goal and the intention is purely different. It's to elicit a function or create a product, create an item, create a cellular machine.
Thinking of cells as programmable machines is a convergence of biology, engineering, and computing. It sees the building blocks of life that form cells and then tissues and so on as parts that can be reassembled, programmed, and standardized.
You
Just
see?
like
That's what they do, people. All manipulation of nature.
transistors and logic gates inside a computer chip.
A computer understands zeros and ones. That's the code. You can see biology in very much the same way, where DNA is the code. And if you can work with that,
DNA is a code, people. That means they can manipulate, twist, turn, they can rewrite it and everything.
you can encode your organism.
This all sounds like they're making GMOs, and you'd be right to make
These GMOs, 100% in, people. Wake your ass up. Is no other name for it.
association. Synthetic biology does leverage genetic engineering as a tool in its toolkit. But instead of engineering wheat, for instance, by adding or tweaking a specific
See it? I told you, people. Don't. Why you think I don't eat wheat bread? It's fooling the dumb people. All of these wheat, cracker wheat, this, wheat, that. Don't eat them. The wheat is more dangerous than the normal starch. Just remember that shit is genetically modified food right here. They call wheat. Same fucking shit they call soya bean.
gene to make it more drought resistant, synthetic biology has the potential to turn it into something totally different.
You can create code that does not exist anywhere in nature.
see?
You can make up your complete own
You
code.
see what I just tell you, people? They can make it up like from scratch, make it a complete different thing. Wow.
Josh and Jade both work at Ginkgo Bioworks, a synthetic biology startup that's kicking this concept into high gear. They have unconventional titles, like organism engineer and head of design, and give much of the lab bench work to the robots, freeing up their time for designing and tweaking. It's like taking a tour
Design and tweaking. Wow. You don't need to hear nothing else, people. It explains a lot of the shit I've been telling you. You understand? Everything that you get was tampered with. You understand? Genetically modify so we can speed up the process and of course make it more bigger and plumper and everything when they do this. You understand? The regular food is no more good for the human being. Wow.
through the visitor center at Jurassic Park. Just swap the dino blood for E. coli,
We did a rough
In a blood. Hold on, let's go back.
freeing up their time for designing and tweaking. It's like taking a tour through the visitor center at Jurassic Park. Just
Wow,
swap the
Jurassic Park, they have to bring that up because it is a fake shit the same way.
dino
people.
blood for E. coli.
We did a rough count the other day and realized that we've worked in over 50 organisms or so in the last year. Some organisms are really good at making proteins. Some are really good at making fatty, hydrophobic molecules. Some are good at making drugs and vitamins. Some are really easy genetically to manipulate. And so rather than reinvent that in some organism, we want to make use of that.
Wow.
Some are really easy genetically to manipulate. And so rather than reinvent that in some organism, we want to make use of that.
Once you pick an organism you want to run with, how exactly do you engineer it to do what you want? At Ginkgo, it's a classic engineering cycle: design, build, test.
I lead a group of computational biologists and data scientists that is designing the experiments, designing the DNAs,
Of course, people, they have scientists there to design the DNA. Wow. This is an eye-opener right here, people. And of course, it's something I've been telling you. But here you go, in live and live in color.
designing the
Bam.
organisms and the genotypes to support the various organism engineering programs.
I work with the foundry to make sure that the overall vision of the organism engineering gets fulfilled. So step one is identify the DNA that you need and have the DNA synthesized.
High-throughput DNA synthesis means that we can actually design DNA in a computer and then...
Yes, they can design DNA in the computer. You see that, people? I told you it's easy for man to manipulate, but it's hard for them to create. That's why they're different and they're fighting against the creator himself with manipulation. Of course, satanic world we in. Bam.